Good afternoon everyone. So I've been sent some homework that I've had to fill in, that I'm going to speak to you a little bit about my past, about how I came to be in the career I'm in, and that was given to me in a kind of list of ways that they wanted me to speak to you about. So my current job and my career, and probably the career until I ever finish work because I love it so much. I'm a police officer. I've been a police officer now. I've worked for Greater Manchester Police since 2000, March 2000 I joined. I have passed my sergeant's exams, so I could progress up the way if I wanted to. However, I decided to stay as a police constable, and I have specialised, and I'm now working on the armed response vehicles. So a very, very small percentage of Greater Manchester Police carry guns all the time, loaded, and we respond to any incident that is deemed to be dangerous enough that somebody with a gun has to go and deal with it. And it might be a dangerous dog, it might be someone with a knife, it might be someone with a gun, it can be any range of things. It doesn't have to be somebody armed with a gun. So that is my career, and as I say, I'm a police constable, and I will probably remain that. I could go for promotion within the army side of the police. However, as soon as you start getting promoted, you don't get to go out on the streets. And I want to be out dealing with people, dealing with jobs, and getting that adrenaline rush, going to all the array of things that I go to on a daily basis. Training wise, when you join the police, you'll go to a police college and you'll learn all about the law. So we deal with criminal law. So if you ask me anything about family law or buying a house law or anything like that, I won't be able to help you. We deal with criminal law, so that's things that we will put you in front of a court for. If anyone gets arrested for anything criminal, then we will aim to put you before a court, and then they make a decision. It's out of the police's hands after that. So you learn your law, and you spend probably 3 months in a classroom doing that, because you have to know every aspect of criminal law. Because when you first start in the job, you could go to anything, and a call could come in that says it's one thing, and when you arrive there it's something completely different. So you need to be able to pull on all the knowledge you've had, because when you actually get out on the streets, you'll only be with somebody for 10 weeks, and 10 weeks isn't very long. It might be 2 sets of shifts with your days off and the shifts that you work. You might only be like, I don't know, you might work 30 shifts in that time, and then you've got someone to lean on, a bit of a crutch to say, I think it's a criminal damage, but is it? And they'll talk you through it and they'll help you. After that 10 weeks, then you're on your own. I was at school, going all through school, I wanted to join the military. I wanted to join the Navy, and that was it. My heart was set on it. So at 15 3/4, I went to the Navy Careers Office, because you could join the Navy at 15 3/4, and they said, you're doing all right at school, stay on and just sit your standard grades, which are GCSEs still here, so your GCSEs. So I stayed at school, did my GCSEs, and did quite well. So again, the Navy said to me, right, stay on and do your A-levels. And I just took a range of subjects. I took PE because I wanted to be a physical trainer within the Navy, took English and maths and a science, took biology and chemistry, and did quite well in my A-levels. So again, the Careers Office said to me, go and get a degree in anything that you want to get a degree in, and we'll take you as an officer. So I wanted to get promoted as quickly as I could within the military, so I thought, great. So I picked a degree that if I hated the military, which I didn't think I would, but just in case, it would always be there for me when I came back. So I went to university and studied podiatry, which for me was very dry, very boring, and it's the study of feet and legs, sports injuries, biomechanics, chiropody. It wasn't for me, but I knew that if I left the military, I could do a quick 6-week refresher course and I could go out and practice. So that was what I did. Whilst I was at university, I met my husband, and therefore didn't join the military, but wanted the next best thing. Next best thing to me was the police. I thought it was a uniform, disciplined organisation, and I didn't want to be away from the person that I'd met, and I knew I'd start a family and all the rest of it. So don't always be I was totally fixed on the fact I was joining the Navy. That was it. There was no other path for me, and everything I did was purely focused to join the military, and then it never happened. And I'm sure I would have loved that life, but I don't regret for a minute not going in and joining the Navy. What I do now is ideal, I love it. So different places I've worked. When I first joined, I've worked 10 years at Oldham, and now on the armed response vehicles I work on the whole force. So I work everywhere. I could come to Littleborough, Rochdale, could go to Lee, Wigan, Bolton, Stockport, anywhere where there's a job that needs an armed response vehicle, because at any one time there's only 8 armed response vehicles in Greater Manchester. So Greater Manchester is a massive area, and there's 16 armed police officers to deal with it. And one job, if we need to contain a house, then one job will use up at least 5 of those ARVs, only leaving 3 ARVs should another job come in. So it's quite labour intensive for the people who are on duty at any one time. And because we are very short staffed, we all have to work overtime because we have to have 8 ARVs. That is an agreement, and the government tell our Chief Constable that he has to have 8 ARVs on cover every day, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Our shift cycle is based on a 40-hour working week, which would be your normal working week, but we work 24 hours a day, so we work early shifts, night shifts, and at the minute late shifts, and it's just a rolling cycle. It's changing in the new year for armed response cops because we don't have enough of us, so they're putting us on 12-hour shifts. So we'll work 7 days and 7 nights, which in a way is good because we get a lot more days off because you work your hours a lot quicker. So in a 5-week pattern I'll work 17 days and I'll get 18 days off. So I think that's all my questions off my list. So I've got some photos that I've brought in. As I said, everyone's got strengths and weaknesses. Technology is not one of my strengths. When I was at school we didn't have computers, so I've printed off some photos and that's about the best I could do. So I'll pass round, I don't know how to do, I should have got extra copies really. So I'll pass round to start with the vehicles that we drive. So when you go on the armed response vehicles, you have to pass your advanced driving test, which basically means we drive at speeds up to about 140 miles an hour. We're pursuit trained, so we can chase cars, and we drive pretty decent vehicles. We get the best pick, to be fair. So in the vehicles, I think I took a photo of the boot open. You'll see the gun safe, and it's got all our guns in. It's got extra ammunition, but also in that vehicle we'll carry shields, we'll carry trauma kit, because we go to serious accidents, anything where you can't get an ambulance quick enough. Also, if we, touch wood, hopefully not, but if we have to shoot someone, we also have a duty of care to then treat them immediately. The ones I'll pass round are just photos of the armoury at work, so it shows you the kind of number of weapons that we have and the types, and then if anyone's got any questions,